What's up, man?
What's up, dude?
How are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good. How's your weekend?
Pretty good. Running a little late after the 24 hours of the Nürburgring.
It's all good.
Yeah. I
What
mean,
are we doing
dude,
today?
a little bit of sim racing. Try and film a little car content stuff if we can. I want to roll the FD out at some point. It's like finally a nice day out. So take it out, cruise in Charlotte a little bit, go grab some lunch, kind of just see where the day takes us. What's up? How's it going, gentlemen? Pretty good. All right, now to the sim racing. This is pretty much the longest part of my day. As much as I love it, sometimes I kind of hate it just because it is like one of those nice things where it's like, if I can bring myself to actually sit down, I just need to be on it for a couple hours. I don't know, I feel like sometimes I can get on it and I'll try and find an excuse to get off, and you're like, dude, like how could you like not be excited on the sim? But I think for people who do a lot more is just practice aside from fun, it can be just, I don't know, a bit of a grind sometimes. Right now, it's definitely kind of the weird downtime between races where, I mean, you're not technically at the track, but you still need to be getting as much practice as possible. So for me, just it's kind of something I've adapted to is just the sim. If I'm not at the track, I try to be at least a couple hours a day on the sim. I mean, I used to kind of think it was stupid, like almost like a game. You know, like I grew up playing like fours and all that, and I didn't quite understand like the benefit it would give me, but it truly is incredible. Especially for someone like LST, where we're going to tracks I've never been to. Just being able to come on and just understand the track layout before I actually go to the track is impeccable. The downtime between races it's kind of weird for me just because I really just want to be on track. But I mean, I am kind of a car enthusiast second, so I think it'd be really cool to like show you guys the stuff we do away from racing. I mean, whether it's car meets, just us actually going on cruises and stuff, like that's it's definitely my passion. I mean, it's something that calms me down a lot. Me personally, I have a 1994 FD RX-7. It's my baby. I imported it from Japan over the span of this year, and I mean, I love it. You know, it's funny actually thinking about it because we had the 24 hours in the Nürburgring on iRacing over this past weekend, and I think anyone who's done any special events, the biggest challenge isn't really the actual racing, it's trying to get 4 guys in to sit down and do a 24-hour race. So that's where our new member actually comes in. He came in and it was kind of a challenge. We wanted to see if we could take someone who's never done iRacing, introduce him to it, give him about, let's say, a week of practice to grind safety rating and grind to iRating, and put him straight into the race. And it was awesome. He did fantastic. We had a great time. Actually, looking at that, I think he's actually almost here. So we can go let him in real quick. What's up, man?
What's up, buddy?
How's it going?
How you doing, man?
Good, good.
It's good to see you.
Welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here again.
Totally.
This time officially, you know, being
as a member
of the Driven community. So that's awesome.
Cool. Well, I'll show you a little tour.
Yes, please. I've been here before, and I kind of worked my way around it. But for everybody watching, I'd love to show them and have you kind of tour. You know, wherever you want to start with. There's a lot of cool things here.
Yeah.
Start with the sim.
This is kind of the streaming rig.
Nice.
We could just, the mindset was like, let's go find like the biggest TVs we can and like just try and make it into a sim. It's kind of a work in progress, but I mean, the idea is just use everything we can. So like use the rails up here to like have cameras coming down, just like different angles. Cause like a lot of times you watch streams and it's like all from one perspective. So it's like, let's try and hit as many different angles as we can. Just, I mean, try something different, you know?
It is a beautiful setup, I must say. It's a beautiful.
What did you think of this wheel? Because you tried this one, right?
I like this wheel. I thought it was a bit wide. Remember, I was telling you about it, like a bit wide. But I think that for some people, it could be more comfortable because it's less. It's more like leverage.
I guess you're just like the prototype wheel.
Exactly.
So like, tiny like butterfly guys.
I love that you actually. This is like a garage space too, because
it's almost like a little like loading dock.
Yeah.
It's like when you're bringing in like the Sims and stuff, you can't just like fit them through the door, you know?
Park a race car here behind the sim and stream that.
Radical there, yeah. So you're familiar with this one? This is the one we did the 24 hours on.
True.
Call it like the practice sim, you know?
Yeah.
So it's got full motion on it. The idea with this one is to be able to like, hey, I'm not at the racetrack. We can come here, use the sim, and get, let's say, 80% of the way to feeling like a real car.
Yeah, I love the steering wheel of this sim because it really reminds me of the actual prototype wheel.
I mean, this one's sick. I think I showed you, but it's like the active dash. So if you wanted to this can like form to any of the cars you're in. So say like you're in the McLaren 720 GT3, it'll actually be the dash. That's in that car.
I noticed that in the Super Trofeo when I was driving. It would give you the logo of Lamborghini and the Super Trofeo, and it's so cool.
It's attention to detail. Over here, we're all pretty much gamers here, so this is our battle station. So if you think back to like OG like MLG days, it's like a 4v4 like LAN setup. So we do like little tournaments between like all the guys here at Driven, because again, like, we're all gamers. So like Counter-Strike, like Halo Infinite, COD, like whatever. But it's good. Like you sit here, you got a guy across from you, you're getting up, yelling at each other.
That's amazing. I love that. You do also the esports here, right? Like it's kids come here from like high school and stuff, and they actually compete online.
Exactly. I mean, we do a lot of like the streaming for like high school esports here in North Carolina.
That's amazing.
And then also out of here, we do GGN. So GGN is called the Global Gaming Network.
Okay.
So think like ESPN for esports. The whole point of it is like if you follow esports today, everything is kind of dislocated. It's like if you follow Call of Duty or CS, you have to go to two different places. So the mindset was like, hey, let's bring everything into one space, kind of like just how ESPN is. So it's literally just ESPN on YouTube for esports. Yeah, so these are our production studios.
Beautiful.
So we do everything for GGN, Project Racecar in-house here. This is our blue studio over here.
Yeah, I love this. This is like my favorite zone, I think, because it is super professional, like from the equipment and everything.
It's just crazy, like we have this at our disposal, so it's like, why not use it? So they're setting up right here for Ty. It's Today in Esports. I mean, you've seen all these screens and stuff. It's crazy to think like the stuff we could do with like putting the cars up on screen, like analyzing a race.
I agree with you. I look forward to actually being with you in this room, because I think there's a lot of cool things we can discuss here, and the fact that you have the big screen, we can actually, like you said, project a replay of the race or a replay of an incident or anything that you want to talk about, and you just put it behind you, and you can just, like a weatherman talks about the weather, we could just literally do that.
Life scale too, so you can like really dive into it. Again,
love this room.
Same production studio. Over here, this is called the Green Studio.
Green room,
So just basically whatever we want. I mean, we could put Laguna Seca behind here, and it's like we're sitting here at the corkscrew talking.
Exactly, that's amazing. We could literally be anywhere we want with this room. That's cool. Love it.
I mean, walking on back through. Pretty much other things in house. We do just pretty much all of like our conference rooms and stuff. I mean, just pretty much as much space as we have, we try to just fill with
utilize.
You know?
I want to show the guys my little office.
Please.
That's over there. This is my workspace.
Your little hole in the wall. Right?
Little hole in the wall. You know, it's my office from the race cars that are on it. I also got you some pretty cool hoodies for us. Like they're merchandise for our brand and our team. So that's when we race the Praga together. So we'll look into that, and we'll see how we do the prints later. And till then, I'll follow you wherever you want to take me.
I mean, we can head up back and just
get my bounce.
Do you ride a little bit?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I used to do kick flips.
I got to show you. I actually. Do you ever see like the Santa Cruz like Pokemon boards? Go out and box one of those. That's cool.
My favorite was the Baker.
Which one?
Baker.
What is that?
A skateboard brand.
B-A-K-E-R. So I didn't skateboard a lot as a kid. I was like longboards and stuff.
I loved longboards too. I had the gloves and everything.
Actually, you can slide on the corners and stuff? That scares me. I like the electric ones. They have brakes.
I never tried those. Never tried them. Nope.
Okay, we'll get you on one. That'd be cool.
I look forward to it.
I just want to give a special introduction to my good friend Nabi Walmar. You may know him from Carbon Element, also on Instagram. If you see like RC car reel and it has a couple million views, it's probably him. He's the guy behind the camera.
Usually.
It's like I see like your garage and stuff, and it's just like hundreds of RC cars, Radical mixed in there. More RC cars, Hummer as well.
I just, a lot of people are passionate about cars, but I feel like I have a passion for literally everything car related. So it doesn't matter exactly. Like it doesn't matter the scale. Like it could be like an RC car to me is basically like a massive race car that's an actual one-to-one size that's been scaled down. So I love dealing with model cars, RC cars. I love working on them. I love, the actual race cars. I love motorcycles, engines, on-road, off-road, doesn't really matter. It's just, I've been obsessed with it since I was a kid. And you know my life story, that I tried to pursue racing as a career. I just never really got the chance to actually race. I did some testing, but we all know racing and motorsports is ridiculously expensive, and if you don't really have sponsors or not necessarily sponsor, but a good team behind you to actually make getting that sponsorship a reality, it becomes a bit difficult. And I had my my parents who kind of gave me whatever they could, right? But they were basically 9 to 5 people, and they can only
fund your child to go race.
You can only they could only really take care of karting for me, which, as we know, is expensive in itself.
And there's nothing cheap in racing.
No,
that's what we've learned.
Exactly. And that's why I love this new idea of sim racing, because I had my PS4 and I had like project cars and stuff like that, but getting into now iRacing with you, I love that, because I really want to communicate this for all the people watching who love RC cars and love motorsports like us, because we're not the only 2 people on the planet that love this, right?
Totally.
There are so many people watching us, like from the age of 4 years old to the age of 60, 70, 80, that share the same passion that we do. And that's what I love about this, is that there's no age limit to this love that we have of this sport.
100%.
And being able to now recognize the true talents of people that are doing sim racing. Like, I get now why Max Verstappen really tries to nurture the sim racers around him, and actually in a recent race he actually got advice from a sim racer. So with sim racing, I love the fact that you don't need to spend the actual race car money, but you do get a lot of good you get a lot of good characteristics that mimic a race car.
It bridges that gap, especially for us, when it's like, I don't know, like we said, it's very expensive. We can't be on track 24/7.
We can't. Nobody can.
And especially, like, you've never been to Watkins Glen.
I never have.
Maybe you haven't been to a track in Italy. It's like, we can go on there, learn the track layouts, learn the little ins and outs. And yes, there are bad habits you can adapt to and stuff, and you have to fight through, like, I don't know, sim racers as well. But I think it's awesome. It's a talent that, like, you see, like, especially like you said with Max Verstappen, where it's like he literally has only been Nürburgring on the sim, goes there in person, and then sets a track record. If that isn't a testament to what you can get out of sim racing, I don't know what is. Literally the best drivers in the world are using this as a tool.
And we looked at the recent stuff, actually. Like, we saw a lot of YouTubers who were like sim racers turn into race car drivers, and the whole movie Gran Turismo was based on that, on Neil Jan, and the actual guy, the actual driver, who basically played simulation games in his room, ended up being a pro driver for Nissan. So that's very inspiring to someone like me, to anybody. And again, I'm not the youngest guy. I'm 32 years old. You're 22.
But like, I didn't have that when I was growing up. Like, I grew up doing like the oval stuff, and it's like, I think if I would have had that as a kid, I think it would help me immensely.
Agreed.
And it's like, a lot of the racing, like, it's kind of just based North Carolina. Like, I grew up in Charlotte, which is kind of like the NASCAR capital of the world, call it. So it was very easy just to go into oval racing. But like, even with oval racing, the sim racing behind it is insane. Like, I remember over COVID and stuff, all the NASCAR guys were just doing iRacing, It is just, again, like a testament to how powerful of a tool it can be.
See, you grew up in Charlotte, North Carolina, right? Which kind of has a very strong base of motorsport, but like you said, it's mostly oval. I grew up, so I'm Jordanian American, so I grew up in Jordan, and that's hence why I race, under the Jordanian flag and everything. But like in Jordan, these things to me were so far away from a reality, because, for example, Watkins Glen, Sebring, this is all kind of next door to you here.
But it's across the world.
Across the ocean from me in Jordan. So that really was a completely unrealistic dream that I had. Like, we did karting, I won championships, but to actually pursue racing as a career, which made me travel to England and fight a horrible disease, which I'll tell you later, I'll tell the viewers later. I never really spoke about this to anyone, but that disease nearly killed me, because I was chasing this dream that was like completely unrealistic and by myself in a way. Yes, I had my parents backing me, but the financial aspect, no, so it was just bounce.
Struggles,
it was crazy. It was everything. And it's just like, I always said, I wish I loved something completely different than this. Like, I wish I loved football, because I could just go buy a freaking football.
Your pads are a lot more expensive or a lot cheaper than tires.
Exactly. And not only that, like, to access a soccer field or a baseball field or something like that, it's everywhere. You can just do it. With motorsport, you can't just show up to a racetrack and just drive your car. Even in your road car, you have to schedule a track day, pay the fees. It's an expensive sport.
I think it's even harder, because you have a lot of love for the open wheel stuff.
Yes,
and it's
I do.
We know a bunch of kids who are on that open wheel path and like the Formula 4 stuff.
It's crazy.
It's insane. One, it's insanely expensive,
Yeah.
and also the best guys have to travel overseas.
Yes,
And again,
yes,
that
yes.
adds to the price of it, you know?
So when I was testing in Formula Renault, I was in with Team MGR, and that was a very mediocre team. And I love those guys. They gave me a chance. They basically saw that my parents couldn't afford to, pay the fees, and they just told them, give us whatever you want, and we'll put him in the car and test him. And I was a second slower than the top guy in the top team, who is now. They were all driving with Lando Norris, like all these young guys, a bit older than them. They're a bit younger than me, but it's all the guys that were literally going into like a bottleneck into F1. Like it's like you said, it's the best guys from all over the world coming in to make it to Formula One. And again, even those guys, I think it's like 2% of them that actually make it.
It's crazy. Like when I transitioned into road racing, I started in the Ginetta. And if you don't know, Ginetta also based out of UK. But before I went into Ginetta's, Lando Norris was leaving. So like he grew up, he did the Ginetta Juniors and stuff, and like coming in and like seeing that history of like there are guys like Lando Norris and like a lot of like GT guys as well who started like where you are now and like went through this. It's cool to see. It makes it, I don't know, because at the end of the day, like it is a dream. Like our goal is to do the crazy things. We want to go to Le Mans. We want to do these things, but I don't know, when you see it actually happen and see guys coming from your path actually make it, it makes it feel that much more attainable.
Yeah, it's just, what we always have to recognize is it's always easy to see the end result, right?
Yeah.
People could see us win a race tomorrow and they'd be like, okay, I want to do that, and let's just go do it. But what we have to do is we have to realize that we can't just go and do something. We have to recognize that there's the part that we don't see, right? From these guys in the middle, the hard work that they do, the things that they have to go to, the sleepless nights, whatever the difficulties they have to do, we have to, like, I can't wait to face those difficulties. I can't wait to do those things, because we want to give no excuses at the end of the road. We want to be like you said, when I remember I said if one time, like if we make it, and Seth told me, not if, when we go. And I'm like, exactly, when we go. There is no ifs. Like we're in this.
Make it happen.
We're in this 100%, and we're like dedicating our time, dedicating our energy. We've got to sync in our training gym schedules, because we just, like I said, we want to give everything. We don't want to leave anything on the table. We don't want to leave a page unturned in this book. So it'll be cool.
I think you also mentioned it too. It's like, it's not just us. Like at the end of the day, we're just two dudes who drive around in circles.
Exactly.
So it's like, it's a whole team behind it as well.
It is.
Whether it's Kaizen or back with the team like you're doing with like Formula Renault, it's like these guys work these crazy hours in between actually getting on track. And for us to go out there and not do our best, it sucks for them and it sucks for us. Because it's like, they put in all this effort, and it's all that is a culmination of when we finally get on track. So every time we get on track, we have to be able to go do our best.
True.
If that means going and doing the gym, doing the sim, whatever, it's like, dude, everyone's putting this much effort. There's no reason why we shouldn't be doing that as well.
Speaking and adding to that, that's exactly why my favorite people to hang out with on the racetrack, as you saw, for example, when I did the Ginetta test with you, my favorite people to hang out and sit with are the engineers.
Totally.
Are the people who are working on the car, because I like building cars and I like working on cars myself. So I love communicating with them because I love the mechanical aspect of it. I love being able to understand if, for example, messing with front suspension will add more push or more oversteer. I love recognizing how setup can make a difference, because I really do believe that the best drivers in the world are the ones who are able to know what the car is doing mechanically, so that they can communicate with the engineer to make those
feedback.
Exactly.
I think that's why I touched on it. It's like, I think that's why Wyatt as a co-driver to us is so valuable, because he's the guy who can get in the car, do a lap and be, hey, we need to change the rake, we need to change this, we need to change this. And the team really needs that, especially when you're taking a team who's never been to IMSA and introducing them to their first season. There's a lot of unknowns, and for the driver to be able to bridge that gap from setup back to the car is impeccable. And speaking of like tools under the belt, I think one thing you bring as well is like the prototype knowledge as well, because I've only ever done GTs, but you've done the open wheel stuff, you've done the prototype stuff with the Praga. I think bringing that into a GT mindset, and like me teaching you how to drive a GT car, but then in reverse, you teaching me how to drive something like the Praga, I think it's awesome. I think it's something a lot of people don't get the chance to go do alone, is racing. But they get the chance to learn different disciplines within it.
I'm just honored to be here, because like technically you are 2024's North America champion for GT4 Ginetta. So My teammate, one is 24 champion, and the
He's
other
trying to make
one.
me blush right now.
And I want his head to still fit through the door, so I'm not gonna keep saying these nice things about him. But like, even with Wyatt, like Wyatt has so much experience. He's my driver. He's our driver coach. So and he's racing with us. So I'm probably the least experienced person in this group. Yes, I have maybe more diversity, but in terms of experience, Seth has actually done a whole season. He's actually raced in England with Ginetta.
So you say it's like you've really over like every time you get in a car, it's like, oh, I get one test day and then I have to race.
Yeah.
And then it's on to a new car.
That's the story of my life. It's just, but that's a good thing in a way, because if I can prove that I can adapt quickly, I'm happy like not having the amount, because you know, some drivers that were racing have hundreds of hours more than us. And that's the reality. They had the budget, they had the time. It's nobody's fault. This is the situation we're in. But are we going to complain? Are we going to complain and say, oh, but he's quicker than me because he had God knows how many hours before? No, we get there, we show up, and we have to do the best we can and bridge that gap as quick as possible. We have to just be on pace. So
well, I think it's the same sentiment of like, hey, when we put you in the Super Trofeo and you get to go run 5-6 races in this upcoming year, it's like, what is that going to do for you as a driver, as someone who's never really been able to do a full season in a car? It's like, imagine your progress from right now to the end. Same thing with Ginetta, where it's like you were knocking off seconds every single lap of VIR. It's like, dude, imagine if you had a whole season in the Ginetta, where you'd be.
Exactly.
Because like one thing we focused on with my first season in road racing, which was last year, was like, hey, we could go put you in 1,000 different cars.
Yeah.
Or we could put you in just one.
Yeah, and focus.
And you just become a master of that car.
Yes.
And I think it helped me so much because I was already having to learn all these new tracks. And I think having to learn 10 different cars on top of that, it would have just been too much. But we simplified it. Hey, it's just Ginetta. Sure, we're going to like the UK and stuff, but it's going to be just as one car.
Yeah.
So like I truly felt like I became as close to a master of that car.
You are. Honestly, you are, because I'm a bit too hard on myself sometimes. Like on the test day with the Ginetta, Wyatt was happy with my 202.3.
Yeah, I was very happy too. Yeah.
Everybody was happy except me. I was like, but everybody, like the pros are doing 159s, but I have to realize that that's my first time in the car. 100%. Like I need to calm down.
Well, I think we mentioned it's like when the pros do come out and like they race the Ginetta for the first time,
they do worse, much worse.
100%. Yeah. Like a 202 is like a very, very good time.
He told me there was only one other person in the history of the Ginetta first test day. It was like a pro driver called Johan, who you probably know. He's like, that's the only one who's done that lap time. He's like, just be happy, don't be too hard on yourself.
Totally.
But then again, the master goes out, and this like 2024 champion Seth goes out one session, does a 159 something just from the get-go. So that makes someone like me be like, wow, I'm like 2 seconds off. But I have to realize 2 seconds off my first time from the 2024 champion is reasonable, and I shouldn't be too hard on myself. No. But maybe I should just keep that mentality, because it makes me want to push more. I
think it's very good. I think even like the guys, like it's one thing where it's like you want to be hard on yourself and you want to be disciplined. But I think sometimes I have the problem where I can be hard on myself and then I come back after a practice with like a frown on my face.
Yeah, you have
and
to
it's like that affects the guys in the paddock more than you know, like the engineers.
Exactly.
It's like these guys just went and worked all these hours and like you didn't get the time you wanted, and now you're coming back upset, and it's like, oh, that sucks, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like if we can find a way to be hard on ourselves and also keep that smile of like, hey, like, dude, at the end of the day, we're here driving Lamborghinis, we're driving Ginettas. Like, this is the dream. We are living it.
It is.
I think me and Brian talked earlier. That's the dude behind the camera, in case you're wondering. It's like we could wake up tomorrow and everything could change. You know, it's like we could not be racing. Like, same thing. It's like when you were going through all your like health struggles, you didn't know if there was gonna be a day when you were back on track. You know, so it's let's enjoy every second we can.
For me, the racing aside and everything aside, because of that health struggle. So I had ulcerative colitis, which is a disease that I would not wish on my worst enemies. Ulcerative colitis and Crohn's are like horrible diseases that I had a doctor once tell me is probably worse than cancer. And I'm not negating the, impact of cancer. They're all shit. They're all horrible. But yeah, that nearly took my life the past 5 years. So it was, technically the past 12 years, but the past 5 years were the worst. And that kind of like I was literally bouncing from one hospital to the next, My friends were going out, people were doing things. I was just waking up to IVs and waking up to doctors and anesthesias and things like that. So it was a horrible period in my life. So just being out here today, sitting with you, a beautiful day, sunshine, the trees, like I've learned to appreciate, literally racing aside, I've learned to just appreciate breathing in fresh air, sitting down, touching different textiles and fabrics, just literally appreciating every minute of life. Because back in the day, it's like all I ever wanted to do was become a racing driver, and like if I didn't make it to racing, it's the end of the world for me. I live and breathe racing, and I can't live life without racing.
Yeah.
I changed that mentality. However, I will say that still, I need to be a racing driver. Like, I need to be a racing driver, just like we go out and we need to breathe oxygen.
Yeah.
That's how bad I want it.
Totally.
Like, that's how bad I need it. But does that mean I'm gonna, you know, focus only on that and neglect the moment? No, I have to enjoy the moment, like you said, because we are driving Lamborghinis, we're driving Ginettas, we're driving whatever. All that could disappear in one day.
Totally.
So live in the moment, appreciate the moment, regardless of whatever outcome. We're just, you know, we're here, one life, and just learning to appreciate it as we go.
No, I completely agree. I think the obsession part is massive.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you can achieve anything. I think we have very, to some people, outrageous dreams of like, we're gonna go to Le Mans. That is our ultimate goal.
To a lot of people, we're retarded. So
it's crazy. I mean, but I think that obsession is something we have to have. Where it's like obsession breeds discipline. I think it breeds perfection in a way.
Yeah.
So if we truly want to go do these outrageous things, we have to just be obsessed with it 24/7.
Yep. So one thing I will say back to what you said about the team is that we're really blessed to have a great team behind us.
Yeah.
And in a way, a great team leader or manager, call him Mark, your dad. And he's the passion that I see in him, because you have a lot of team owners and a lot of people who are involved with directing the team that do it from a business point of view only, neglecting the passionate side of it, which I think in this sport doesn't really work. So to sit down with someone like Mark and talk to him, who's had racing experience, who raced motocross, who raced professional cars, he raced Daytona, he raced tracks that we're gonna race now. So to hear him talk to us about this stuff, it really motivates me and makes me even more proud to be part of this team, because the person who's kind of leading it as the team owner is as involved with it as we are, and that's great.
I think you can say a ton of things about my dad, but you cannot say he's not passionate.
Agreed.
Especially about us. I mean, I think he's like a dad to us all.
He is. He really is. He really is, and that's what I love about it. I told him, like, when I'm sitting with you, I talk to you, and I love my dad, and the way I talk to Mark is literally how I speak to my father. So it's really cool. I feel like we're technically not just a team. It's like you, me, Hunter, everyone in the team. We're kind of like a little family in a way, which is pretty cool, and I look forward to the future and the achievements that hopefully we'll be able to do.
We'll future. So what's coming up? So Watkins Glen, you won't be technically racing it.
Yes.
But you will be there.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're going to be seeing me and Wyatt in action the whole IMSA weekend, just getting a feel for it, understanding the ins and outs. It is. There's like little things you would never know, and I think, like you said, it's like when you go to your first weekend, whether it's IGT in the Lambo or what, if you can just go prepared and knowing what you're coming into, and IMSA is the pinnacle of that. If you can understand that and what it takes to be a driver in that, I think when you go to your weekend, it's just be that much prepared.
Yeah. I look forward to seeing it, because honestly, I've never been to an IMSA event, and in the US, you know, that's the big league IMSA. You know, like you said, most of the drivers that you see there are the superstars, the people we looked up to, you know, like all F1 drivers and stuff.
It's insane.
So it's cool.
So Watkins Glen, a couple of test days coming up as well.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, I think we have so much stuff we can go do, whether it's car content, bringing out the FD, maybe going for a test day in the Radical.
Yes.
I mean, I would love to just rip the Radical down the road or something.
I look forward to putting him in the Radical, because that's going to be a eye-opening experience for him. Because I've driven the Ginetta and I love it, but you're going to open a new horizon with the Radical.
Awesome. I mean, I am so excited to have you here. I think everyone's going to love you. You're such a great...
Appreciate you, man.
Not just guy alone. I think you're a great personality as well. You're very easy to talk to, easy to watch, and I think we have a lot of great stuff coming up.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys. Thank you. I did want to bring you some hoodies and some merchandise. This is for the Praga, because you know the Praga has the sponsors on the vehicle and stuff.
I'm all for free merch.
This is just an example of the hoodie. So here's the back of it. So you got your logos and everything. But what I want us to do is put the Project Racecar on the front. So basically we're merging God knows how many groups together. So
it's awesome. It's beautiful.
Fun. So I hope you're a large. So
yeah, it's perfect.
This will be. We got a bunch of other stuff here too. We'll go make the prints and make it happen.
Yeah, awesome. But yeah, I mean, thank you guys so much. It was great introducing the V to the whole Project Racecar family here at Driven. Please let us know. I mean, we have so many cool things I think we can go do, whether it's on track or off track. Just let us know. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for more.